And thanks for staying with us here into our second half hour of the 4 p.m. newscast this afternoon. I'm Jason Wheeler. Right now, we are looking at the threat of wildfires across Texas. According to the Texas A&M Forest Service, crews have responded now to 22 wildfires that have scorched more than 32,000 acres just since last Monday. Now, currently, we've got 2 wildfires burning. One is in East Texas, just north of Longview. The other is near the U.S.-Mexico border. So we are in that season once again. Just beware. New video shows deputies in Florida going door to door to evacuate residents after a brush fire got too close to their homes. Some deputies seen using garden hoses as well to try to put out some potential hot spots and douse some dry areas of grass to prevent that fire from getting even more out of control. The Florida Forest Service says that fire started in a backyard and burned roughly 2 acres. All right, we are in those warm and windy days, even though it is still February here in North Texas. And so, we've got to keep up with that fire danger as well. And, Jesse, we certainly have drought conditions in a lot of areas of the state as well.
We do, and I have good news. The first half of March shows pretty good likelihood of being wetter than normal. And I think that starts after Election Day. We'll start to see daily chances for much needed rain. But here we are, the end of February, and we're back in the 80s, and winds are out of the northeast 13 to 20 miles an hour at this point in downtown Dallas. We have lots of sunshine. Obviously, the vegetation's still dormant, so that's why the wildfire concern has been pretty high as we kind of wrap up this meteorological winter. Tonight's a cool night. Temps will be in the 40s and low 50s. 47 McKinney, Denton 48, Fort Worth and Dallas in the lower 50s. Tomorrow would be another day well above normal. The normal high is 64. We'll be at 80 in Dallas, 79 in Fort Worth, 77 in Sherman, Mineral Wells 79, Canton will go to 78 degrees. And if you look at the next 3 days, which takes us through Saturday at the end of February and Sunday, the beginning of March, it looks like spring. Highs will be in the low to mid 80s. We'll have partly sunny skies by Sunday. We are dry and breezy this weekend, but the rain chances finally start to go up next week. More on that coming up.
All right. We'll talk to you here in just a few minutes, Jess. A warning about a simple mistake that you could make when selling your car. One man told us that the NTTA just kept on charging him thousands of dollars for tolls on a car that he sold years ago. But when Teresa Woodard stepped in, the Tollway Authority took a second look at this.
So these are your wheels now?
Yes, they are.
Mahir Chowdhury's a Chevy guy, but used to own a Honda. And the North Texas Tollway Authority thinks he still does.
How much did they say you owe?
Just around $3,200.
Here's the paperwork proving he sold his Honda in 2024.
About a month or so later, I received a NTTA bill in the mail, and I noticed that it was my old license plate for my old vehicle.
Chowdhury says he called NTTA, sent them the paperwork multiple times.
A couple months later, another red bill.
Yet the bills keep coming.
Unpaid balance, $424.56.
For tolls on a car he sold.
Late fee, $25. And it just keeps going on and on.
2 years ago.
I am a debt collector with Penn Credit.
When debt collectors started calling, he called us. NTTA discovered Chowdhury's old license plate is still in use on toll roads. They say he's the last person it was registered to, so he's getting billed. But after our inquiry, NTTA said it now sees Chowdhury canceled those plates with the state in 2024. So he, quote, is only responsible for tolls during the time the plate was registered to him.
You're not responsible for those charges now, according to this email from NTTA.
I'm no longer responsible. I guess that's a win.
NTTA does claim there are unpaid tolls from before 2024. Chowdhury and his family dispute that. It's a reminder for car sellers: remove plates, submit paperwork, double check NTTA has everything it's asking for. Chowdhury,
No more bills.
Finally has the answer he's been looking for. In Flower Mound, I'm Teresa Woodard.
Good for Teresa getting that all solved. As North Texas prepares for FIFA, the World Cup coming here, the Better Business Bureau says scammers are prepared as well, and they are already finding their marks here in our area. The BBB's Scam Tracker is seeing fake ticket resales, jerseys that do not arrive, and scammers pretending to be official FIFA partners. So look out, especially if you're a big soccer fan and you're trying to get in on all of this. Here are a few ways for you to protect yourself with this. Make sure to only use official ticketing, travel, and lodging sites. Do not scan random QR codes that are stuck on signs or flyers or parking meters. If you are booking a rental, you can reverse image search the photo and make sure the address is real. And never wire money or pay outside a trusted platform, even for tickets or perhaps even just a volunteer opportunity. It could be a way for someone to scam you. The bottom line here, if it feels rushed or if it seems like you're getting a deal, we've just talked about this earlier in this newscast, if it seems like it's too good to be true, you know how that sentence ends. It probably is. Well, another company is setting its sights on North Texas, and the people behind it are a name that you might have heard before. Joining us with some more insight on this is Dallas Business Journal Editor-in-Chief Will Anderson. Will, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
This is a big deal, too. We're talking about MP Materials. They're going to be building a $1 billion rare earth magnet factory in North Lake. This is a tremendous announcement, and it has a lot of implications. What can you tell us about it, though?
Yeah, so they're in North Lake, north of Fort Worth. The company said today, hey, they're going to build a $1.25 billion rare earth magnet plant with about 1,500 employees eventually. And we broke the news back in January. They're considering this move, followed the incentives that were approved. But today the company said, hey, you know what, it's official, they're moving ahead. So yes, big news if you care about rare earth magnets, which actually I found out we all do. We just might not know it.
Yeah, I think we all care about using them, but we may not know all of the things that they are in. You've probably heard, some of the discussion about rare earths. China always comes up in this discussion because they sort of own the market worldwide anyway. But, the U.S. has been trying to get into that and produce its own rare earths. Talk a little bit about why this is so important, Will.
Yeah, I think it's like 90% plus that China owns controls of the production of these magnets, which, was always kind of uncomfortable for people, but it wasn't too much of an issue until, trade war breaks out or trade hostilities break out, and it gets expensive and it's, sometimes even impossible to import those. They're used in electronics, so your phones, computers. They're also used in missiles and defense, so it's critical to national security as well. And that has led to the company being kind of highly sought after, and there were quite a lot of incentives approved. As I mentioned, we were covering the incentives process. Incentives approved at the city, county, state level to bring this company here. And they're hoping they can kind of jumpstart U.S. domestic production of these critical magnets.
Okay, so you have this, it's a win for the company, obviously. They got a lot of incentives out of this. A win for the country because, it's almost a national security issue to be able to produce your own rare earths. Also a big win, though, for Hillwood, the company that owns the land in North Lake and is controlled by Ross Perot Jr. Pretty big for them as well.
I think that, and it was funny because Ross Perot Jr. was just in the news for helping bring, they just cut the ribbon for Scotiabank's big office here in Dallas that we've talked about. So often in the news. And I think you could argue pretty convincingly that Ross Perot Jr. is, probably the most influential business person in town, maybe the most influential person in town, period. And yes, big win for Hillwood and for the company as well.
As Will said, they were the first to break the news about MP Materials considering this, and now they've brought us full circle with the big announcement here. So as always, check out more from our partners at the Dallas Business Journal who broke this story this morning on their website. Just check them out there. Will, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, Jason.
And good work once again. Fresh flowers, Texas pride, and some stories worth celebrating this Black History Month. Coming up, we've got a look at your weekend guide. Stick with us.